Available for free download, the Skywatch Weather app is on iOS and Android.
Right now at 5, a lawsuit looks to name the Joplin law officer involved in the accidental shooting of a Baxter Springs toddler.
And we've got ourselves an almost textbook spring-like day today, but it's going to be a little cold to start. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, we'll see what life in Knoll, Missouri is like now, 6 months after the closure of the Tyson chicken plant.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is finally Friday in the 4 states. Yes. It is about time that it become Friday.
I agree with you.
And I may have lied to you earlier. I told her microphone was upside down. Now that I'm closer, it's actually upside down now. Okay. I lied to her just because, it's Friday.
Keep me on my toes.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I do that? I don't know. It's Friday, but hey, it is going to be like a textbook-like spring day today.
Oh, I'm so excited for it.
It's going to be wonderful out there. Let's start with a quick look outside. This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin, and it's looking pretty good so far. We've got clear skies to start the day. Not bad out there. Our camera 7th and range line also looking pretty darn good right now, and temperatures around the area not too shabby either. Cold though, but could be a lot worse. I know I say that all the time, but we gotta look back historically. It could be a lot worse. We got some upper 30s, a low to mid 40s out there. The temperatures will gradually fall back a little bit more, and not much, but a little bit. So a bit of a chilly start for those kids getting on the bus this morning. We're looking to be right about 39, but it's going to be sunny, and the winds are going to be a lot calmer. West breeze about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And when the bus brings them home this afternoon, not looking bad either. Sunny skies, 66 degrees. West breeze at 5 to 10. And that's what I love about weather and Mother Nature and the 4 states is we had a warmer start yesterday than what we're having today, yet we had a cool day. But today we've got a colder start, but it's going to be warmer. I love how that works. It's always so fun. But part of it is also we're going to have ample sunshine out there. Beautiful skies. The winds will be calm, relatively calm throughout the day, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And we're looking at highs upper 60s to right around the low 70s across the areas. So today, your forecast relatively simplistic for Friday, and it's not too bad for Saturday and Sunday, but we're still tracking those thunderstorm chances as we head into the start of next week. And we're going to break down all the details on that and have what you need to know in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Pittsburgh police arrest 2 people in connection with the overdose death of a teenager. Police started investigating last April after 18-year-old Cooper Campiti of Frontenac died of a fentanyl overdose. Then Wednesday, they arrested 2 suspects believed to have sold Campiti the drugs. Official charges against the suspect are pending. A Neosho, Missouri school counselor has turned himself in for a statutory rape charge. Authorities say 40-year-old Jacob Oaks sexually assaulted a minor several times from 2021 to this year. After turning himself in yesterday, he immediately posted bond. The Neosho School District says Oaks, who works at South Elementary, was put on leave when they became aware of the allegations. Authorities have arrested a couple of people after getting information that drugs were being distributed out of a Webb City home, The Ozark Drug Enforcement Team assisted the Webb City Police in serving a narcotics search in the 700 block of Jillian Lane. Officers say they found narcotics and a drug paraphernalia. 2 people, Donald and Summer Tunnel, were taken into custody regarding numerous outstanding warrants. The Carthage City Council meeting yesterday was for a second time this week. This time to discuss the possible removal of city personnel. During Tuesday night's meeting, the council raised the issue of passing articles of impeachment against Mayor Dan Reif and termination of employment of City Administrator Greg Dagnon. The decision to hold last night's special meeting to discuss those topics was also raised Tuesday night. Another new agenda item for last night's closed session concerns the possible prohibition against council members talking to the media about city-related issues without council or committee approval. The session is scheduled to begin at 6:30. A new court motion is seeking to release the name of the Joplin police officer who fatally shot a 2-year-old girl nearly 2 years ago. Sniper 1, a Joplin SWAT team officer, fatally shot 2-year-old Cleslin Crawford while responding to a domestic violence call in Baxter Springs in March of 2022.
The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office responded to a call from a woman asking for help at 340 Wyandotte Avenue in Baxter Springs. When officers arrived, Eli Crawford shot Taylor Schrute and went back into the home with 2-year-old Cleslin. According to the police, Eli started shooting at officers. The standoff lasted more than 3 hours. When law enforcement was able to approach the home, they found Eli and Cleslin dead inside. The KBI investigation indicates that 2-year-old Cleslin Crawford died as a result of a single round fired by an officer from the Joplin Police Department.
Is requesting the court to release Sniper 1's identity. The court document states the profound interest in uncovering the truth far outweighs the privacy of Sniper 1. After reaching out to the Joplin Police Department on the matter, we received this statement from Chief Pearson stating that the case is closed and the department has no comments. Well, 6 months ago, the destiny of about 1,500 people was unclear as the Tyson plant in Knoll, Missouri was closing its doors. KOAM spoke to some former employees to hear what their lives looked like half a year later. They said the burden has been especially difficult both emotionally and financially.
A lot of them are like family. We have all gone through a lot during the time that we were working together.
We were trying to stretch our money as best as we can. We were trying to, make sure we had everything we need in the house, food, a place to live, everything.
Both Harper and Bradshaw chose not to work at the plant until the very last day. They were afraid they'd be unable to find a job when many of Tyson's workforce were also job hunting. Tonight, we'll hear more about the closure of the plant impacted Knoll and its local businesses. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Colgan and Galena meet for a doubleheader in Pittsburgh yesterday. We'll have the details. Plus, hidden artworks and paintings have been unearthed by archaeologists in Pompeii. And we have a warmer and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Vice President of Operations with Phoenix Home Care here. If you or a loved one need assistance in the home, meets our clients where they are. Just reach out to our care team to get started today.
Yesterday was our final Thunder Thursday of the year here on KOAM. The NBA regular season comes to a close this Sunday, and then we turn to the playoffs. Thunder try to finish the regular season strong. They have 2 games left. OKC is currently tied with the Timberwolves for the 2 seed in the West. Both of them are 1 game behind defending NBA champion Nuggets, who hold the number 1 spot. These final few days will be pivotal for playoff seeding. You can catch one of these very important games here on Fox 14. The Thunder host the Bucks in our final Thunder Friday night of the year. Tip-off is at 7, and wrestling fans, you know the drill. You can watch WWE SmackDown in its entirety after our newscast tonight. One of the top high school softball players in Southeast Kansas signs her letter of intent yesterday afternoon in front of friends, family, and her classmates to continue her career at the collegiate level. Frontenac High School senior Abby Beeman signs her letter of intent to play softball at Avila University in Kansas City. Beeman is a 3-time first-team All-State outfielder from her freshman through junior years. She says she first heard from Avila over the summer, and the decision-making process didn't take very long.
It was this summer or last summer at the California tournament, which is actually our last tournament, and then I went on a visit there and I just knew, so felt like home. It's something that I feel like a lot of kids dream of, and the fact that I even get the opportunity is just crazy. So.
Switching gears to high school baseball, Colgan and Galena meet for a doubleheader in Pittsburgh yesterday afternoon. Both of them are playing well recently. Galena and Colgan meeting on the baseball diamond for the first time this season. Future Emporia State Hornet Gus Keller is on the mound. He's going to get the swing and the miss to end the second. So we're going to go just a few innings later. Keller gets the called strike 3. Then with runners on, it's Keller who throws the nasty breaking ball. 6 innings pitched with 10 strikeouts for Gus Keller on the day. So now we go to the fourth. Colgan leading 1-0. Jack LaTurner makes a nice catch on the comeback and throws the runner out at third base to get the Bulldogs out of the inning. Still a low-scoring game going into the 5th inning, though. Colgan leading 2-0. Jack Schrimmer hammers this ball into the left field gap. That allows 2 runs to score, and Colgan cruises to an easy victory. Panthers beat Galena 8-0. And the Panthers make it a clean sweep of Galena. They win the second game as well, 5-1. Tristan Voss makes his 2024 pitching debut, going 6 innings, striking out 7, and picking up the win. Colgan has won 4 in a row and plays next at Parsons on Monday. Well, still to come, measles cases are on the rise, and that could result in a change of its classification. Plus, well, another check of that pretty decent forecast, that lovely weekend, and those storm chances when the KOAM Morning News returns.
I'm Detective Kyle Hand with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. I'm asking you to support the first...
Are you game? I am ready. Then take a spin on the Wheel of Fortune.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:16 now on this finally Friday here in the 4 states. And it's, of course, a live look from our camera on the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. Not a bad start to the day, a little bit of a breeze, but nothing too crazy out there. And our wind's going to be considerably calmer for us today. Our camera 7th range line also looking pretty darn good this morning. It's hard to tell right now, but skies are mostly clear out there. And the KDOT camera on 69 south of Pittsburgh also looking pretty good as well. Right now in Joplin, we're sitting at 44. It is chilly. We're going to have a bit of a colder start today than what we had yesterday, but we're going to have a warmer day today as well. And that west breeze at about 3 miles an hour. Temperatures around the region, again, a bit on the cold side. We've got Parsons as it looks like the cold spot at 34. Otherwise, we are into the upper 30s and low 40s across the area. And again, we'll start to warm through the day. We'll have ample sunshine and calm winds. Well, again, relatively. It's going to be west about 5 to 10 miles an hour. 58 by 11 o'clock this morning, and that is ahead of highs of about 70 degrees. So upper 60s, right around 70 out there. And again, it's a textbook spring day. Our highs right about where they're supposed to be for this time of year. Our lows, on the other hand, be a bit mild as we head through the evening hours. We're going to fall back through the 50s and eventually settle into the upper 50s as we go overnight tonight, and we're going to hold on to those clear skies. Now, we got the thunderstorm chances Monday. A lot of this is still about timing. We're still pretty confident about the severe risk as we head into Monday and into early Tuesday across the area. Ahead of it, it's going to be pretty darn warm. We're talking about the 80s. Could have a few showers, maybe some early thunderstorms. Then by the evening hours, that's when the bulk of this activity is expected to get started. Say after about 9 o'clock or so, we'll have a number of thunderstorms out there, strong to severe thunderstorms across the area. The next question is what happens as the cold front overtakes the dry line? As you folks at home may or may not know, the dry line is what sets up the supercell threat and sets up the initial thunderstorm development. And as it rolls to the east, the cold front rolls in behind it, and as they meet up, that's when you get a line of strong to severe thunderstorms. There's a question as to exactly when and how that's going to take place, but we could have an ongoing severe threat as we start our day on Tuesday. So in the early morning hours and before about noon on Tuesday, we could still be dealing with strong to severe thunderstorms. Then we'll have kind of some lingering showers and storms as we go through our Tuesday before all of this activity eventually begins to clear out. Now, this system, though, is not going to have a significant impact on our temperatures. We're going to have a whole nother system by Thursday of next week that will actually have an impact on our temperatures out there, bringing more thunderstorm chances. So here's what we're looking at right now. We've got the probable area. That's this orange highlighted area where severe weather is most likely, and that does reach into parts of southeastern Kansas and northeastern Oklahoma. And this yellow zone is expressing where severe thunderstorms could occur. They're more likely in the orange zone, but not out of the question within the yellow zone. And this is what we've been looking at the past several days. We're going on 4 consistent days now of long-range severe weather outlooks that have been highlighting nearly the same zone over the course of the last several days. And of course, that severe threat will roll off to the east as we head into our Tuesday across the area. So the thing is, we have all threats possible. We're talking large hail, damaging winds, and that threat for tornadoes. So next Monday and Tuesday, we have to keep a very close eye on out there because we are continuing to monitor that severe threat. Between now and then, though, breezy Saturday and Sunday into the 80s. 80s on Monday. We have those thunderstorm chances out there. 80s on Wednesday. Then we get that next set of storms by Thursday, and that'll kick our temperatures down into the 60s with more storms by next weekend. Let's check your forecast. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
We know gym memberships can be scary, but a personal trainer and then decide if we're right for you. Locally owned with 6 locations, 24 Elite Gym. Live your best life.
Topping Health Watch this morning. Measles cases are on the rise, and that could result in a change of its classification. The CDC says there's been more than 100 cases of measles in the U.S. since January. According to Thursday's report from the CDC, officials say if there's a major spread, measles could lose its elimination status. In 2000, measles were officially eliminated, which means there have been no outbreaks for at least a 12-month period. However, from 2020 through March of this year, more than 300 cases were confirmed in the U.S. Officials say over the past few years, numerous outbreaks came from under-vaccinated areas in some New York City communities. The CDC says measles is a very contagious, and it's encouraging people to get a measles shot to help prevent it from spreading. Measles can be fatal, especially for children, but lesser symptoms include fever, cough, and rashes. The Biden administration is setting new regulations on the amount of forever chemicals that can be found in drinking water. This new standard will require water utilities to filter out 5 of the forever chemicals, also known as PFAS, that are currently found in half of the drinking water in the U.S. PFAS have been linked to a number of health issues, including cancer, heart disease, and reproductive problems. The CDC says they are found in the bloodstream of nearly 97% of Americans. They are often used to help products repel water and oil, but linger in the environment and human body. A pharmacist group says hundreds of prescription drugs are in short supply across the United States. According to the American Society of Health System Pharmacists, there are 323 active drug shortages across the U.S. The group says that the highest number of shortages is since they started tracking the data back in 2001. Some of the products in short supply are oxytocin, pain and sedation medications, along with ADHD drugs. Manufacturers cited supply and demand, business decisions, and raw material issues as a few reasons for the shortages. Earlier this month, the Department of Health and Human Services released a set of recommendations to address drug shortages. Yesterday kicked off a Black Maternal Health Week in the U.S. The CDC says Black women are 3 times more likely to die from a pregnancy-related cause compared to white women, and most of those deaths are preventable. Mandy Gaither has more on the leading cause of maternal mortality and how women can reduce their risk.
It's an alarming rise. The maternal death rate in the U.S. keeps inching upward. The latest CDC data from 2021 shows more than 1,200 women died of maternal causes, up from 754 deaths in 2019.
And the situation is even worse for Black mothers because their maternal mortality rate is more than twice that of white patients or Hispanic patients.
The leading cause of pregnancy-related deaths is mental health conditions, followed by excessive bleeding, heart conditions, infections, blood clots, and high blood pressure. Lack of access to good health care is also a key factor in this crisis, says Dr. Tochi Iroku-Maliz with the American Academy of Family Physicians.
You have hospital closures, so we call them some OB deserts, where hospitals have shut down their labor and delivery wards, and so they don't have the nursing staff, they don't have the physicians and the other techs available to take care of these patients.
The CDC says more than 80% of pregnancy-related deaths are preventable. Pregnant people and their families are urged to talk to a doctor if something is off or concerning. Recognize urgent maternal warning signs including severe headache, extreme swelling of the hands or face, trouble breathing, or heavy vaginal bleeding, and seek immediate care if they're experiencing any of these symptoms. Women should also share their pregnancy history during each visit with their doctor. More than half of maternal deaths happen up to a year after birth.
Maternal health care doesn't stop after the patient gives birth.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says there are several factors which may lead to the disparities in Black maternal mortality rates, including barriers to quality health care, underlying chronic conditions, as well as structural racism and implicit bias. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we are watching an absolutely beautiful day across the area. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back.
Stop by your local Heritage location today to save.
Restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Right now at 5:30, Missouri Southern breaks ground on the future Roy Blunt Health Science Innovation Center.
We've got a pretty chilly start to our finally Friday here in the 4 states. However, it will be warmer today. We'll take a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Pitt State hosts an event for Special Olympics athletes to promote a healthy lifestyle.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Friday. We made it.
Yes.
Slowly but surely we got here, and it's going to be an absolutely gorgeous day.
Yes.
Pretty nice weekend.
I can't wait for it. It looks good, like it's going to be great.
Oh, I am so ready for a nice weekend. It's going to be breezy, but you know what? I'll take it because it's going to be so much warmer. And I hope all of you out there are having a fantastic Friday so far. I mean, I know we're only 5 hours into the day, but still.
Yeah.
Hope it's a great one for you. And hopefully this forecast will help you out a little bit. Let's start with this. This is a look outside from our camera at 7th and Range Line in Joplin. And we're looking pretty darn good as we get the day underway. Temperatures around the region are chilly, or in some cases just downright cold. Parsons, for example, Neodesha, both sitting at 34 right now as the two cold spots out there. The rest of us, upper 30s and low 40s across the area. So that does mean when the kids get on the bus, it's going to be a bit cool, a little bit chilly out there. 39, sunny skies, west breeze 5 to 10 miles an hour. And then something that we haven't been able to say for a couple of days, west breeze 5 to 10 miles an hour. No gusts out there. Sunny skies, 66 when that bus brings them back home later today. We're going to see highs topping out into the upper 60s, maybe some low 70s out there. Sunny skies, and of course that nice west wind at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Winds are going to pick up. Temperatures are going to pick up. Thunderstorm chances are going to pick up. We'll look at all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, middle schoolers in McDonald County yesterday got a taste of the real world. Pineville Elementary hosted an immersive life simulation event. 7th and 8th grader students were able to go through 2 simulations, a reactive one and a proactive one. The reactive simulation saw their lives go through financial and health struggles. The proactive one allowed them to make informed choices to unlock their potential.
If I have a probation officer, speak to it and not go to jail. And, you know, don't make dumb decisions that's going to hurt you in the future. And make sure you get all your bills paid on time so you're not behind and you're not stressed out and feel like you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Pineville Elementary partnered with the Ozarks Area Community Action Corporation to pull the simulation off. The Joplin Health Department will begin its efforts to control mosquitoes. The department plans to use fogging and larvicide treatments. Although they are using a low toxicity EPA pesticide, the department recommends people stay indoors when the fog is visible. Make sure to close your windows and bring pets indoors during the treatments. Residents can opt out by contacting the health department, and fogging routes are posted on the city's website. Missouri Southern yesterday broke ground for a big new campus project, the Roy Blunt Health and Science Center. KOAM's Anthony Saviello was there and has reaction from the former senator, students, and faculty.
It's the beginning of the newest phase of Missouri Southern. The Roy Blunt Health and Science Innovation Center breaks ground and is just 2 years away from being what campus president Dean Van Galen describes as the campus crowning jewel.
The Health Innovation Center will be front and center. It will be on the oval, so as you drive by the campus on Newman Road, this will be the iconic building that you see on the campus. It also houses our Welcome Center. It also houses meeting space for the community, so it'll be the new front door of Missouri Southern State University.
Former Missouri Senator Roy Blunt is the name that is attached to this facility. He says his focus has been on the improvement on the future of healthcare in Missouri.
What the health world looks like right now, at this minute, is nothing like it looked like 10 years ago, and frankly, not what it will look like 10 years from now. I think for Missouri Southern that the opportunity to have this innovation center is a great way to keep more in that discussion.
Southern students say that this new building can now be a selling point to attract new students.
If you really think about it, we are struggling in healthcare. We need more healthcare people, and having these types of buildings are going to make it to where people want to come here and they want to experience this and they want to learn and become a nurse or a doctor or whatever. And so having these facilities is really important, I feel like.
President Van Galen says that this building will also allow students to be on the forefront of serving a need in Southwest Missouri.
There are great workforce needs for well-prepared healthcare professionals, and that's what we do at Missouri Southern, certainly in their disciplines as a nurse or a dental hygienist, but we provide also a broad-based education that prepares them not only for their first job, but for their entire careers.
Reporting in Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Construction of the new facility is set to begin in the coming weeks and is set to wrap up before the 2026 school year. Menards in Joplin will officially open next week. Store officials yesterday announced Tuesday is the big day for the home improvement store at 3317 South Geneva Avenue. They plan to host a special grand opening celebration on Sunday, April 21st through Saturday, April 27th. That will include wood carvings from a chainsaw carver, John Gage, and Menards race cars on display. Pitt State hosted the terrific field day event for Special Olympics athletes yesterday. The event attracted Special Olympics North America athletes, showcasing a potential model for similar events across North America as part of their Healthy initiative. As always with a Special Olympics event, many volunteers turned out to lend a hand.
So we have a bunch of volunteers here today with various clubs, so health, human performance and recreation clubs, different HHPR classes, and just different therapeutic recreation classes, and just whoever wanted to sign up could to volunteer.
Those in attendance could also take part in a Treats and Trails event put on by Special Olympics Kansas and local groups along Pitt State's hike bike path. Ottawa County residents had a chance to learn about resources available to those affected by the Tar Creek Superfund site. Federal, state, and tribal officials were on hand at the Miami Civic Center for an open house to connect people with resources and answer questions about cleanup efforts. Yesterday's meeting focused on the importance of getting children blood tested for lead poisoning and free soil cleanup for residents.
There are things being done. It's not safe to swim in Tar Creek these days, but eventually maybe it will be. But right now, the remediation is going to take a few decades, and when it's done, maybe we'll have usable land out here and it'll be safe.
The Tar Creek area was designated as a Superfund site decades ago following high levels of chat pollution. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A humanitarian crisis reaching unprecedented levels in Haiti with widespread food insecurity. Plus, Mike Johnson talks about his meeting with former President Donald Trump about sending more aid to Israel and Ukraine. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Closed captioning on KOAM TV is sponsored by Aaron Sachs & Associates, proud partner of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Topping World Watch, hidden artworks and paintings have been unearthed by archaeologists in Pompeii. The Pompeii Archaeological Park released the new images showing the preserved frescoes that had been buried since Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79 AD. The artwork depicts various images from Greek mythology and are believed to have been displayed in a banquet-type room. This excavation site is part of a bigger project aimed at making the site of Pompeii more sustainable. A humanitarian crisis reaching unprecedented levels in Haiti with widespread food insecurity, hunger, and gang violence. The UN World Food Program reported yesterday that the food crisis there is at its worst level since the 2010 earthquake. The WFP report indicated that the violence raging in the country left nearly half of the population suffering from food insecurity. The UN Food Agency has delivered more than 500,000 plates of hot meals to 80,000 people in the capital, Port-au-Prince, and other cities since March. WFP officials had reported in March that amid the latest wave of violence, gangs blocked food distribution routes and paralyzed the capital's main port. Embattled House Speaker Mike Johnson talks about today's meeting and news conference with former President Donald Trump. It comes as GOP lawmakers remained divided over aid to Ukraine and salvaging the FISA bill. Senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram is on Capitol Hill.
House Speaker Mike Johnson hoping an appearance with former President Trump casts him a lifeline. Johnson's job could be in jeopardy as he's stymied by his own party on two major issues.
Can you think you can help us get something on Ukraine or also on the FISA bill?
We have a lot of things to discuss, talk to him frequently, so looking forward to seeing him in person.
The former president and Johnson will tout a bill focused on preventing illegal immigrants from voting. Mr. Trump just undercut Johnson's FISA reform bill this week, even though he signed a renewal of the controversial program into law in 2018. Democrats believe the former president paralyzes the speaker.
The extreme MAGA Republicans are taking orders from their puppet master down in Mar-a-Lago.
Conservatives blasted Johnson's original FISA reform plan for not going far enough.
Did Johnson step in this by putting this on the floor, trying to go this route?
Yeah, I think he made a big mistake. That creates a lot of bad faith.
Subject to call.
Johnson planned a Ukraine bill for next week, but nothing's ready.
Speaker Johnson needs to put his foot down.
Could that cost him his job?
If I were in his shoes, I'd be willing to risk my job for the security of our country.
Marjorie Taylor Greene threatened to oust the speaker if he aids Ukraine, but an unlikely ally could salvage Johnson.
That I believe that there are a reasonable number of Democrats who would not want to see the speaker fall as a result of doing the right thing.
The House is hoping to vote on a FISA extension before Johnson sees Mr. Trump on Friday.
Now to look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Here a flower, there a flower. Flowers everywhere. Can you really have too many? At In the Garden, we don't think.
Check out pitks.org/Earth Day.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 546 now on this Friday morning here in the 4 states, and we are starting a bit on the chilly side. We've got clear skies, but again, a little bit cold. It is 44 in Joplin right now. West breeze is about 3 miles an hour, and that's the good news. The winds are going to be a lot better today than what they've been the last couple of days around the area. However, temperatures a bit colder today than where they have been. Neodesha, Parsons, both as the cold spots at 34. The rest of us into the upper 30s and low 40s out there as we get this day underway, and we will have plentiful sunshine and a light westerly breeze at about 5 to 10. That will allow us to warm quite nicely. Sunny skies as we get the day underway. 58 by 11 o'clock this morning, so we're actually starting colder for most of us than where we did yesterday, but we're going to be warmer today than where we were yesterday. In fact, seasonable temperatures, upper 60s, right around 70, maybe even a couple of low 70s out there under those sunny skies. As we head into the evening, skies will remain clear. I will eventually fall back into the low low to mid 50s across the area, so it will also have a much milder evening across the area for us tonight. Now, what we want to talk about, I tried to stop it. I apologize. I really did try to stop it. I hate that when there's just nothing you can do. But what we do want to talk about, now that that's out of the way, is our strong to severe thunderstorm threat as we head into Monday and Tuesday. So Monday, a few scattered showers out there. The one thing that we're waiting on some finalizing is the timing. And timing's going to be key. As you folks at home know that as well, timing is key. The atmosphere, we are in fourth consecutive day of our area, plus others, of course, being highlighted for this severe threat as we head into Monday and Tuesday. That means that confidence in the atmospheric setup for severe weather is high. What isn't so certain yet, and we're going to get a lot more data over the next couple of days, is the exact timing and placement of everything by Monday evening. What we're looking at is having a very classic severe weather setup. We'll have that low pressure system, a warm front trailing off of it to our north, cold front back behind it, dry line in between. The dry line is what's going to be the trigger for the initial round of strong to severe thunderstorms. They'll likely be kind of more supercellular to begin with. As those get going, and the cold front eventually takes over the dry line, that's the key point of timing, is when exactly that happens. If it happens too early, then our severe threat is still there, but it's not as significant. If it happens a little later, then our severe threat remains a little higher across the area. So we're going to have the supercell development initially Monday late evening. We're going to say in our area maybe after about 9 o'clock or so. Then, as the cold front does overtake the dry line, with the current thinking of it being later into the late night hours and overnight, we'll get a line of strong to severe thunderstorms that will roll through, and we could still have some lingering severe threat as we go into very early Tuesday morning. So about the time we go on the air, some additional strong to severe thunderstorms will be possible, and then we'll just be left with lingering showers until we begin to clear out by the late evening hours on our Wednesday. So a quick look at those hot spots. The orange zone is where the severe threat is more probable out there. The yellow zone is where it is likely, but not the confidence is higher in the orange zone, and that will of course shift off to our east as we head into our Tuesday. And at this point, we are looking at all severe threats being possible. So large hail, high winds, and the potential for tornadoes. So we want to watch next Tuesday and Monday very closely. Between now and then, breezy through the weekend, much warmer into the 80s. 80s on Monday, watching those thunderstorm chances. 80s on Wednesday, more storms Thursday and into next weekend, and we'll fall back a little bit into the 60s. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Get ready to enjoy the final year of the Joplin Memorial Run.
Nutrish Whole Health Blend for balanced energy, active mind, and immune support. Helping dogs, dog healthy.
A daddy-daughter date takes place during a historic celestial event and nearly 3 miles high in the sky. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Unless you were living under a rock, there really wasn't a bad seat for this week's historic eclipse. But one fearless father-daughter duo was either shooting for the moon or flying too close to the sun when they took in the phenomenon while skydiving from 14,000 feet. Just as the sky over Texas darkened, the pair did separate tandem jumps, free-falling in the shadow of the surreal celestial show. While the rest of North America was looking up, they were coming down. And once the chutes deployed, they got a chance to take in the epic event. Each jump team floated safely back to Earth, where they weighed in on a weightless, wondrous eclipse watch party that was pure gold.
The coolest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Hey, you want to know what else is gold? This stuff, apparently. According to authorities at Hong Kong International Airport, a cargo shipment was seized after it was discovered to be a pair of fake air compressors being used to smuggle over 300 pounds of gold, molded and painted to look like the machine's parts. You can actually see some of the molded gold peeking through the paint. The golden grab netted an arrest and a record $84 million worth of the Arlant element. Finally, believe it or not, this two-story house was not out of its element. It was supposed to be floating across the San Francisco Bay. The two-story picket-fenced houseboat was one of many vessels forced to pick up and move after a local marina lost a legal battle with the state. But despite the turn of the tide, the voyage was reportedly a success, with the buoyant abode finding a new spot in Sausalito. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
We'll be right back.
Hey, 4 States, Chris.
Thunder Friday Nights is sponsored locally by Downstream Casino Resort and Vance Automotive Group.
Taylor Swift and TikTok are back together. Music from Swift returned to the social media platform yesterday after being gone for a few months. In January, Universal Music Group said its licensing agreement with TikTok was expiring. They then took music from their artists, including Swift, from the site. The statement also made reference to TikTok not playing, quote, fair value for the music. In addition to Swift, other artists under UMG's control include Ariana Grande, Camila Cabello, and Rihanna. Music from those artists has still not returned to TikTok, and there's no explanation for Taylor Swift's return. The global singer-songwriter is scheduled to release her 11th studio album on April 19th. The 14-time Grammy winner's new album is titled The Tortured Poets Department. Well, you don't have to think about what to have for lunch. The decision today is easy. It's National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. Nobody knows exactly when this comfort food was invented, but cooked bread and cheese has been around since ancient times. The version you know and love came about in the 1920s when sliced bread and cheese became readily available. Back then, it was usually served as an open-faced sandwich, but there's no wrong way to make a grilled cheese, and that's part of why they've stayed so popular. Use any cheese you like and try adding vegetables, oils, and seasonings to create your own perfect meal. You can also take it with you on your travels. The humble and easy to make grilled cheese sandwich is eaten in many countries.
And they are amazing to have, and today is going to be a great day to have a grilled cheese sandwich as we're going to start our day sunny, make it into the upper 50s by 11 as we head into the afternoon. Sunny, winds a lot better, west at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We're looking at highs upper 60s, right around 70, and maybe for some of us even a couple of low 70s out there. Heading into the evening, we remain clear. Our winds remain manageable as well, and we'll fall back eventually into the low to mid 50s, so we're going to be considerably milder, especially compared to where we are right now, because it's a pretty chilly start to the day. Winds gusting out of the southwest through the weekend, upwards of 35, potentially 40 miles an hour in some cases. But take a look at those temperatures warming into the 80s out there. Then, as we head into Monday, still in the 80s, but we are watching the potential for some strong, potentially severe thunderstorms Monday night, overnight, and into Tuesday morning. So something that we're keeping a close eye on, and you should be keeping a close eye on as well over the next several days. We're still warm though Tuesday and even into Wednesday. Then we get another system with more rain on Thursday, cools us down into the 60s. More storm chances again by next weekend. That's a check of your forecast. Got a whole nother hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.